Good evening. Welcome to the Geneva reading series, Freedom. Let us begin with you giving a very warmish and loud welcome to the reason I am alive. My parents, wait up, hold on. He didn't even know the reason. Thank you. The reason I'm alive is my parents, Mark and Jan Williams. They're here tonight. Welcome them. My friends, let me tell you a story about romance, Moses, and Joel Ward. When Mindy asked me to marry her with her eyes, prompting me to ask her to marry me with my mouth words, I said, "Hey, Mindy, what? Will you marry me?" Then she said the three words and a contraction that love-sick souls everywhere are just dying to hear. "I'll think about it." She breathed. Now marriage has struck like Verizon signal strength, falling balefully onto Elijah's soggy cell phone. I don't know what that means. Clearly, love is a mystery. Mindy and I often whisper to one another, "My love, you are almost perfect." Our house is an American Neverland. Turns out we are very terrible at grown-up responsibilities. Money is not the root of all evil. Neither is the love of money. The root of all evil is the love of money when you have no money. Now I know the truth about marriage. All you need is John Lennon wearing a straitjacket from the Dave Ramsey collection entitled "Surprised by Restraint." Even if it was only once every blue moon, Mindy, I wish something unnatural would happen to you. You'd get a wild look in your eye, and I'd hear nasty tearing sounds down in the dark of the house. There I'd find you, hunched at the table, tearing open bill envelopes with your elongated teeth and claws, crafting spreadsheets and budgets, grunting fiscally, your eyes yellow with wolfish passion as you reviewed our tax-qualified defined contribution pension account. With the animalistic passion of 10 emotionally repressed accountants, you would herd equations into Microsoft Excel, and then, howling in strange tongues, you would bark incantations from your lupine heart, packs of incomprehensible terms of left-brain endearment, words like capital outlay, abatement, detail of appropriations, baseline adjustment. Yes, our house is Neverland, our lawn is a meadow, rabbits come to us, and strange birds. The leaves of our sycamore tree grow as surprised, wide, and wild as skinned faces. Mindy wears them like hats. Once she presented one of our impossibly large leaves to the school bus driver who collects our son, Sawyer. Every morning he and I stand on the misty corner, waiting. You can hear his bus from as far away as childhood, and every time it turns onto our street with its diesel grunt, Sawyer sings the poetry of oppression, saying, I try to console him. If it's a Friday, I say, "Sawyer, it's Friday." If it's a Monday, there are two voices heard in Beaver Falls, lamentation and bitter weeping, Sawyer and Dan weeping, refusing to be comforted. The driver, whose first rodeo this is not, is a no-nonsense woman. She opens the bus door like she's jacking in a shotgun shell. She'll be the driver when C.S. Lewis's divorce bus finally comes to haul us roaring into heaven. You've got to be grave to be a bus driver. Children on a bus are sinful Mentos and a bottle full of moral Coca-Cola. Speaking of sin, I said to my class the other day, "Hey, I know. They should invent suits that stop sin. Everyone could wear them. The suits would stop sin by ferociously shocking people in the appropriate sin area." One of my students said everyone on earth would die. It's true. You can't stop sin with a suit, I guess, and you just can't stop children on a bus from de-evolving into seat-hopping satans. Like I said, school bus drivers must be no-nonsense souls. But Mindy offered the gigantic leaf that one day, and our bus driver lit up with happiness and wonder. Eons of Antichrist children rolled off her psyche's back, and she said, "Wow, I've never seen a leaf that big." Mindy had never seen the woman smile that big. So you see, for all its faults, our American Neverland makes people happy. And Mindy and I are happy, free from care and fuss, free from the consequences of tax evasion. Time will tell. But hey, kids, do you know how Mindy and I survive in spite of imperfections? We read the Bible together every day. We do this because we need some way to compete with all the persnickety, spiritless couples who know how to create and manage a savings account. Our savings account is in the golden bank of heaven. Have fun with all your rusty moth money, you whitewashed brood of Scrooges. Mindy and I enjoy reading the King James Version. It's more fun because it sounds like reading a history written by a flock of monks trained in syntax by Master Yoda.
Like him begotten he was, yes.
Mindy and I stumble through the King James like one-year-old babies running through a field of sneakers. We flounder and limp and laugh at each other. We have so much fun, in fact, that we even fashioned a brand new Old Testament character to share in our joy. We couldn't help ourselves. He was right there, alive and active, lurking between the lines. Here's how we found him. We noticed that whenever Laban shows up, the Bible calls him Laban the Syrian. Check it out. Genesis 31:20, and Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian. Also verse 24, God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night. Mindy and I decided that the reason the Bible is so super careful that we understand that this is Laban the Syrian is because long ago there was another Laban, a party animal named Laban the Egyptian, or Egyptian Laban. On the rare occasions when something fun is happening in the Old Testament, Egyptian Laban's always the one responsible. Was there laughing? Did the wineskins burst and flow? Did the party roar like the Tigris? I promise you Laban the Syrian had nothing to do with it. So, when we read the Old Testament in King James English and get laughing, we know who to thank. Out of the blue, either Mindy or I will say, Egyptian Laban. And we'll do a dance that looks exactly like this. Egyptian Laban, hey. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to inform you that Egyptian Laban is here tonight. Would you like to meet him? Yes. Okay. Come on up here, Laban, you Egyptian rascal.
It's me, Egyptian Laban. Hi.
Clearly, the Bible is ashamed of Egyptian Laban, as it never mentions him once, because all he wants to do is have a good time.
Who wants to play dabbing for kebabs?
Tragically, item number 1 on Egyptian Laban's bucket list is to make it into the Bible.
Hey, what you writing there, Moses? Working on the Torah? Doing a little Pentateuchin? Hey!
Sadly, Egyptian Laban doesn't know there's zero room in the Torah for straight-up, hospitable party animals. Don't get me wrong. The first 5 books do love party animals.
Who's got your fatted calves and timbrels? Selah. Maybe a musical term? Maybe he's good enough for me, baby. Selah hey, Selah ho.
But you have to do more than party to make it into the first 5 books. You also have to talk to God himself or have nations in your loins. or build a city on top of another city that you just murdered. Things like that, they're the only way in. Poor Egyptian Laban, he never talks to God. He got his tubes tied. And no one ever dies at his parties.
Make shalom, not war. But if there is a war, after party at my tent, BYOWS. Wineskins, y'all.
He tried to teach others that you can have a good time without drowning people, or selling them into slavery, or popping their eyes out, or crushing them under rocks, or playing pin the tail on the donkey with knives and people wearing donkey pelts.
Moses, you hear about the epic party last night? Longest conga line in the Fertile Crescent. 500 cubits. Hey! Maybe you should write about it?
Did anyone die, Egyptian Laban? Did you sell anyone? Did you stone anybody?
Oh, we got stoned all right. Wink. Hey!
Egyptian Laban, you just don't get it.
Oh, Moses. Moses, you're overthinking it, you rage monster. Shut up and kiss me with those uncircumcised lips. Egyptian Laban. Hey!
Egyptian Laban, everybody!